Welcome to Guelph Wrestle Hut. Today we are diving into New Japan's Destruction, and for more highlights like this, stay tuned. So now we're diving into the main event, the big kahuna, the New Japan heavyweight title between Ren Narita, Zack Sabre Jr. This was a long, grueling match. I felt like, it was going to be more like submission based, grappling based, and that's really what we got for around 30 minutes, I think. Yeah. They really went toe to toe on each other quite a bit with a lot of striking. Zack pretzels Ren Narita up quite a bit, especially towards the end, pulling out all kinds of different moves and different types of submissions, adding, subtracting to different stuff. I was like, Zack was really going hard on Ren Narita quite a bit there, especially, like I said, towards the end. But Ren was not one to be outdone. He really showed a lot of stuff that, not to say we haven't seen it, it's just we haven't seen it kind of for a bit since he joined House of Torture. He's kind of gone, cheating and relaxed for the most part.
I like that term you use, like pretzel, like they twist the arms and stuff and legs, like a pretzel is like all contorted and whatnot. I like Zack Sabre, like he started off like a big boot, so I'm like flying, half a mile.
Well, it definitely seemed real. He like really shoved him, and Ren almost got his head on the rope.
Like a power boot, and then Ren pulled out some cool suplexes with a bridge like T-bone and capture.
Yeah, the head capture one as well. Yeah, the T-bone. I was like, we don't even see those suplex, let alone with pins. So I was like, this is the little bits that like you can see Ren Narita do. It's just curious to how like good of matches he could potentially have consistently. Maybe if he changes teams later on, goes to being a good guy, we will see a little bit more out of that.
Or if he's like more in those like big matches where you kind of have to showcase a little bit.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is we kind of knew Zack was going to win this. This wasn't one of those New Japan where we were like, oh, we're kind of uncertain with this. This felt like 99% sure Zack was going to win. It was more of a Ren Narita sort of showcase match to see how the fans responded, how his match went with Zack, and how good could he do a long match, because this one did feel grueling. These guys both looked kind of like, oh man, this is getting tiring. All the grappling, all the submissions, all the strikes took their toll on both of these guys. But Zack, deep into the match was still smooth as silk with his grappling and striking. You can see why he's the champ, because he can do so much for so long and stay very consistent and not have like any screw ups and stuff, which leads to injuries usually, right?
Yeah. We had the match play out, fairly, even and no cheating, and of course, later on, the cheating comes out. It's always hilarious when Sennedra comes out. He's got this big red boots, he's like stomping, and Pimp Kid actually hits him, he gets killed.
How does he hurt people with big rubber boots though? He's like, and like the Tokyo Pimp. Like, it's funny how the guys who came out to help Ren Narita was Sennedra, who you couldn't really take seriously, and then they give him the Tokyo Pimp. They're like the guy who always screws up hitting people with his Pimp King. You're like, this isn't gonna work. You guys need better cheaters for this one. You need Evil. You need, I was gonna call him Bad Luck Fale, or Don Fale, and Show and those guys, but instead it's like, we're just sending out the Pimp. That's all you get.
Yeah, and then the match it kind of turns into a power slap where he's just like winding up, he's like drilling at Ren, and Ren's like getting pissed, he's like slapping back, and then he's like slap and KO'd.
Yeah, those were really hard. You could definitely feel those through the screen.
Even when the ref's like watching as well, it's like, okay, but they got blocked, and he knows his tricks.
Next match is Shingo Takagi versus Gabe Kidd for the global title. This was another match where we kind of anticipated what was going to be happening. Yeah. Strike-wise, power-wise. I just kind of wrote war, because that's what I was expecting. I was like, there's going to be a war, especially like through striking, through power moves. They brought out the chairs. They were going ham on each other with the chairs. I think Shingo took like one square off the noggin and broke the chair. Both guys really going all out with vicious moves, vicious strikes, especially with the weapons. There was a lot of weapons brought into their, not even just the chairs, but the tables and stuff like that was brought into the mix, which ultimately ended up being quite a violent match at times, I think, between both guys.
Yeah, Shingo had a evil looking Death Valley from the outside.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but One thing I liked was those funny looking like Hurricane Ranas, where like you know what was going on. He's like oh he blocked it. He was flying afterwards. Like,
I thought Shingo blocked it. Then he's like, all right, I'm going. Gabe Kid's like, what the hell is this guy? I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I think I saw that a few times. Pretty funny.
But I like that Gabe was elevating he's elevating his repertoire. It's not just like, he's not just using suplexes, he's not just using hard clotheslines and strikes and things like that. He's pulling off moonsaults, hurricanranas, and stuff like that to really elevate. And I think Shingo didn't want to be outdone. He does the poison rana and crowns Gabe Kidd on the top of his head in that moment. So it was just this was another grueling battle like the main event was. This was another tough battle where these guys were using so much. They had to use a lot of endurance and stamina and toughness to get through it.
Yeah, that main in Japan, I think they dropped him like dead on his head. You think he said the table dented his head or
yeah, we got a clip.
Danger! Danger! Made in Japan! Made in Japan! Through the tables, watch it again! Holy hell!
So you can see in the video, on the replay, like Gabe, gets crushed in the noggin, clearly dents the table, gets bloodied up on the back of the head. So that was a pretty stiff landing for him. But ultimately, he comes away with the victory, retains his title, and then Tsuji comes out, not to help Shingo. He's like, I know you're kind of my buddy, but like leave the ring, and then challenges Gabe Kidd for a shot at the global title. They got a lot of history, and that kind of segues us perfectly into the next match we're talking about, Tsuji versus David Finlay. This one I felt like kind of played out how I thought it was going to be, except it was a little faster. The pace was a little faster. There was a little more done in this match, especially from David Finlay. Usually I don't have high expectations. I kind of have an idea of what he's going to do throughout the match and when he's going to do it. But this one I felt he was a little better, sold some stuff pretty well, made Tsuji's power moves and strikes really showcase quite a bit, and Finlay pulled out a little bit more stuff, trying to do a little bit more to kind of elevate his stock, I guess. But he couldn't really outdo Tsuji. I felt like Tsuji showed off a lot of power and speed moves, definitely showing off his full arsenal of moves, tossing him with the alley-oop, doing the Sweet Guerrero special that I got a highlight of.
I don't know about you, but I was kind of disappointed because like Tsuji didn't pull out my favorite move, the Mount Tsuji, or the words that you made.
The flying body slashes. That's what you want.
That's my favorite move. I want to see that move every time, and didn't do it. we saw a cool powerbomb moment at the top where like he looked like he blocked it, and then he goes over. I was like, I don't know what's supposed to happen there, but
it looks like literally like a millisecond went by where Tsuji flips and then Finley's like, oh crap, I didn't hold on to him, and then just makes a mental okay, just go, because it would have looked really awkward, but it was more of a delayed reaction sort of thing, very similar to Shingo and Gabe Kidd's moment, right? Yeah.
I think Tsuji also did like a suplex bomb, which is kind of cool. I don't know if we see him do it all the time, but that was kind of neat.
What, the one that was kind of like the Blue Thunder bomb?
Yeah. Another interesting moment was like, I think you mentioned where like outside Finlay does like the Northern Cross, like brings back. It's like you could have done something, either on the ramp where to do extra damage to maximize the damage, but I guess he doesn't have good fight IQ as you call in the business. He's just like, I'm just gonna break you on my knee. It's like, I'm not, my knee will hurt.
Yeah, you're on the ramp, you have the hard ramp, and you're like, I'm gonna do this on my knee and hurt myself. But you had the ramp right there. I was like, what the hell is Finlay doing?
And I see the commentator, they're kind of spraying some seeds in there. We're like, whoa, he's losing all the good matches. I think a new leader is coming.
Yeah, there could be something. It seems like they're trying to tell that story with more of what Finlay losing these spots. His rough start in the G1. Now he's losing this match. We're gonna kind of see how things are playing out, especially with new members coming in, and see if there's a changing of the guard. So they like to do that long-term storytelling and drop things month by month almost in New Japan. But I definitely feel like at least Finlay had a better showing in this match. I feel like him and Tsuji are kind of coming together, and they have like a good rapport together when it comes to their matches. So this one was better, but Tsuji ultimately gets the win and is going on the Gabe Kidd from the looks of it. The next match it was a pretty exciting match. Both these guys, for being older, pulled out a lot of stops. I know they're juniors, but they're still older, and they did a hell of a match. Taiji Ishimori versus Hiromu Takahashi. This one was really exciting for how long it lasted. Ishimori kind of flew out of the gates, flew out of the blocks with many fluid aerial attacks. He was really kind of going like a house of fire. I felt like he was really smooth in the ring, and like kind of what I just said about like Tsuji and Finlay having good in-ring rapport. I feel like these two did. There was no hiccups. Everything was smooth. They were landing on so many perfect spots, I think, for the most part. And I really liked that the guys were kind of pulling out a little bit of the more older moves, really pulling out a huge arsenal between both Hiromu and Taiji Ishimori.
I like the beginning sequence where like they keep like getting to a tombstone and they reverse and reverse.
There was like 6 of them, I think.
Yeah, and then Ishimori got tired, so they gave like a sit-down tombstone block. But like the guy's like so tough, he just got right back up immediately, like just taking that shit like nothing. Just logging.
That was like a real one. He landed right on Hiromu's head.
And then he had to like pull all his time bombs, like like 1/2. And then like
1.5, 2.0 original,
yeah, like everything, and then finally secured the win.
Yeah, Hiromu gets another win. I felt like this one was, for how short it was, it felt grueling though. Kind of like that. It's almost felt like the theme. You know, the long, or not long, but like grueling, tough matches for these guys. Whether it was like, you know, striking, you know, using a lot of power to the exhaust guys, or these guys were just going quickly for like 8-10 minutes. So it was a really exciting kind of edge of your seat type of match, and both guys really pulled out quite a bit in this one. This next match was also grueling and tough. I definitely felt like that was coming. Oscar and Yuto Ice, you know, the Knockout brothers coming in, you know, their first tag title shot against Tomohiro Ishii, you know, my fat baby. And Daichi. This match I really was excited for because I just like the presence and the sort of attitude that Oscar and Yuto Ice are bringing, especially to the tag team, right? We needed some new blood. We need something to, you know, to really make it exciting, and I felt like these guys can really bring that, and they really did bring that in this match. This match was just like an assaulting blitz. They were like slapping, you know, Yuto and Ishii were slapping the hell out of each other, going toe-to-toe with so many hard shots. It felt like a back alley brawl almost between these guys, just brutal strikes constantly throughout the whole thing, and so many big moves. There's a lot of big moments that we're going to show you in this some highlights here coming up. I think you wanted to talk about those first, though.
Yeah, like they had some cool like double team moves. But one thing I want kind of reverse is like when they do like the double powerbomb, they give it to the little guy. They shouldn't give it to the bigger guy because that bigger guy had more elevation. You can drop him like from a higher distance, do more impact. So they just switch that up a little bit, you know. And for the commentators, I saw the most exciting thing ever, you know, when he ripped off his pants, and like, you know, fans go crazy, you know, like the pants go flying.
That was the most exciting.
you're eating something, or drinking a beverage, you got pants in your face.
Taichi in his damn pants.
One of the best moments in this car. Pants.
I have to disagree. I don't know. I've seen Taichi rip his pants off quite a few times, but I thought the best moments in this match were, you know, between Oscar and Yuto Ice. Especially Oscar. He had some really good power moves for the big guy. Really mobile. Some really dynamic stuff from him. Taichi was not to be outdone. He had a kill shot. I called it the kill shot pile driver. You know, with it between him and Ishii. But we got this cool little video package I want to put together for this new tag team.
Today the final two share the never forever. This is the day that marks the end. Never forever. I watch my star fall tonight.
So you got to see their finish there at the end. That really tells you, you know, that they won. Yuto Ice, Oscar, New Japan tag team heavyweight champions now. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I thought they had a really good showcasing, especially in a big moment like this. So I'm really looking forward to that. And like I said, they had some really good tag team maneuvers, and I really like Oscar moves so well for a guy who's like 6'7", and the stuff he's showing off already. So I was like, yeah, this should be interesting to see how these guys play out. The first few matches went really quickly, so we didn't have much to say about those. I did like you know, Boltin Oleg versus Don Fale. It was kind of humorous. Boltin trying to lift up that 300 billion pounder or whatever a few times. He did like the biggest kamikaze I've ever seen, you know, on Don Fale. So there was that little bit in that match for the never openweight title. Boltin ultimately holding off Don Fale in the clown car.
I feel like the kamikaze, that's really gonna hurt, gonna knock your ear out of all that weight. He's like, oh, he's like really dying.
His own body weight, you know, pulling full inertia of like bolting over on top of him. It was like, oh dear God, imagine those guys rolling down a hill together. But oh yeah, that was ultimately a pretty good. Oh, maybe I'll just pause and then we'll go into the ending.
All right.
Okay. You have a ranking?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are our thoughts on New Japan's destruction. Let's see where we got this one ranked. We got good, great, awesome, amazing, spectacular, and fantastic. Where do you got this one ranked?
I ranked it great though. It would have been higher, but I saw no Mount Fuji today.
So, yeah, and the thing about this card, it seemed shorter.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like a giant New Japan card. It's a card, but it's not like obviously Dominion or Wrestle Kingdom or Genesis. Some of those ones are more stacked. Matches are longer out and things like this. This one was a bit shorter, so it's like, you know, you're not going to see as much and get you more and more excited. So I got it at good, great, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I got it at awesome. Yeah, because I thought there were some really good matches that never really boosted it up, and I really, I think Oscar and Yudo Ice, I really liked their performance, so that one got me kind of, you know, really hot off the press there. So that was our thoughts on New Japan's destruction, and until next time, folks, how about some heavy wrestling?